Interest and penalties can certainly add up. In some cases, they can be more than the tax owed. So what can you do? Well, first of all, the IRS can reduce or eliminate penalties if you show reasonable cause. This process is called abatement. But as should be no surprise, determining reasonable cause is fairly subjective. But here are some typical examples. You may have a serious illness, destruction of your home or business, such as by fire or natural disaster. You relied on a tax professional who ultimately provided bad advice. The IRS gave inaccurate information. This is why it is important to keep all correspondence. A customer sent out wrong information, such as a 1099 MIS form. You did not pay the tax bill because of a harsh financial situation. Okay, to request an abatement of your tax penalty, you need to write a concise letter that sets forth the reasonable cause. You'll then attach this to Form 843, Claim for Refund and Request for Abatement. Of course, you should include copies of any documents that support your position, such as a statement from your doctor, an insurance claim, and so forth. Now, if the IRS rejects your abatement proposal, then there are some actions you can take. One is to file a protest with the agency. You can do this either by phone or mail. Or you may seek other type of relief, such as an offer and compromise, but this can be tough to get. Something else, the IRS has a little talked about policy called first time abate. This means you can wipe out your penalties for late filings or late tax payments if you did not have penalties for the prior 3 years, are current with all filings, and have paid all taxes due. Okay then, what about reducing the interest that the IRS charges? Unfortunately, your chances for getting this type of relief is fairly slim. Keep in mind that interest is required by law, and the IRS essentially assumes that your non-payment of taxes is a loan. Yet there is some wiggle room. Consider that the IRS will reduce or eliminate interest if the IRS made an error, you settled with the IRS, which reduced or eliminated your tax, or you received an abatement of a penalty. As a result, there is no interest on the changed amounts. The IRS sent you a refund check by accident. If so, the agency will charge interest. No doubt, in this situation, you can request a refund for this. If the IRS takes too long with an issue, you can seek a reduction in the interest payment. You filed a tax return late, but live in a federally declared disaster area. And finally, you filed for bankruptcy, which discharges your IRS debt, or you negotiated some type of offer and compromise, and which means that in this case, you reduced your interest in this situation. Even if you do not qualify for a reduction in interest, you can definitely save a ton of tax dollars by getting an abatement for your penalties. That is, if there is a reasonable cause or you meet the requirements for a first-time abatement. Yes, all of this can certainly seem overwhelming. So at my firm, which is called Pathway Tax, we can help out. We have experts that can deal with the tough IRS actions you may face. We also provide a free initial consultation.